Welcome students. Last class we were discussing about atoms, atomic physics we were discussing, and we were discussing about this energy calculations, difference of energy. Today let us see some concepts in nucleus. See, it's like this. This is our nucleus and this is our atom, right? Inside atom there is nucleus. Atom radius will be in the order of 10 power minus 10 meters. Okay? Nucleus radius, this is our nucleus, it is spherical, it is in the order of 10 power minus 15. Now how we are saying that? Any calculations involved or not? Let us see that. Now in previous discussions we talked about calculation of distance of closest approach. Suppose this is a nucleus and there is an alpha particle here. It is bombarded towards the nucleus. Its charge will be z times e. This alpha particle with some charge, it is going towards the nucleus. Then we have seen that this will initially have a very high kinetic energy, usually in the order of 5.5 million electron volts. So it will come near the nucleus, and at some distance it will see, this is a positive charge, this is a positive charge, there will be a repulsion. This fellow will try to come near, this fellow will try to repel. So what will happen? The kinetic energy will drop. Here the energy was this much, it will drop to 4, 1, 2, like that, 2, 1, 0, and at some point it will become 0. The kinetic energy will become totally 0, and from here, because of repulsion, it will again go back. There will be a repulsion. So this is our distance of closest approach. Okay, but actually how the nucleus will be? Will the nucleus will be like a dot? Nucleus will be something like this, isn't it? It will be having some volume, it will be having some radius. So this particle is coming close. So maximum it can come is up to the tip of this nucleus. So from here to here you are saying this is the distance of least approach, isn't it? That means, what is this? This nucleus is not a dot, but something, a volumetric sphere like this. A volumetric sphere will have some radius. So you can say, so this distance of least approach, your r cannot be more than that. R has to be less than or equal to distance of least approach, isn't it? So you are coming close to the, imagine this as a coconut, and this is coming very close. So that coconut shell itself is a positive charge, so it cannot penetrate inside. So from here it will return back. So this radius is the radius of the nucleus, and this is, it has to be less than or equal to maximum. It cannot be more than distance of least approach. Either it has to be less or it has to be at the maximum equal to the distance of least approach. Okay, but actually if you want to calculate its radius, how we will calculate? If you want to calculate, see, this is your nucleus, isn't it? So what is this nucleus made up of? So this was your atom. So here the electron is rotating somewhere here, we don't know where, but there is an electron cloud. These are all electrons inside a nucleus. This is our nucleus. Inside nucleus, what do we have? We have nucleons, we have protons, neutrons, these are called p plus n. P is protons, n is neutrons. These put together are called nucleons. Okay, now let us say this nucleus has a radius r. Okay, so it will have a volume. It is, I told you that it is spherical in shape. It is spherical in shape. So it will have how much volume? 4/3 pi r cube will be the volume of the nucleus, where this is the radius of the nucleus. So here you have neutrons and protons. So let us say they're also like particles. They will have some radius. Okay, let us say their radius is r0. So it will be 4/3 pi r0 cube. This is of 1. This is a 1 piece multiplied by n plus p, isn't it? N plus p. So what is this? Isn't it atomic mass? So this is basically, you have some 20 protons and 20 neutrons. Each neutron and proton, almost it has got a radius of r0. How much volume it will have? 4/3 pi r0 cube is what? So 20 neutrons, 20 protons, 40. So you have to multiply with the atomic mass number. What is the atomic mass number? Multiplied by atomic mass number, isn't it? So from here you can get the value of r as r0 into a to the power of 1 by 3. Okay, so this is the expression to calculate the radius of the nucleus. What is a atomic mass number? It is basically the sum total of neutrons and protons, the nucleons. Okay, so we can see this also as, just write down, so the volume of nucleus is equal to volume of the nucleons multiplied by A. Suppose you are comparing two atoms, then V1 by V2 will be equal to A1 by A2. Okay, and you got this expression, R is equal to R0 1 by R is equal to R0 into A power 1 by 3. A power 1 by 3. Isn't it? So that means R is proportional to A power 1 by 3. So can we write R1 cube by R2 cube is equal to A1 by A2. Right? So this way also you can interpret it. What are A1, A2? Two different atoms of different mass numbers. Let us say a bigger nucleus is there. It is split into two smaller nucleus of A1 and A2 masses. Bigger nucleus is there. So we can apply here conservation of momentum. M1 V1 is equal to M2 V2. Remember then the bomb explosion, implosion, one concept we have discussed. Okay, so there conservation of momentum we can apply. This is a bigger nucleus. Usually they are radioactive. And they try to split, they try to break and convert into more stable nucleus. Alright, so here you are getting V1 by V2 is equal to M2 by M1. Alright, M1 M2 are the masses of the split nucleons. So in the place of M2 you can write A2 by A1. So the velocity with which they are now moving will be the ratio of their atomic masses. So this is one concept you can learn. Alright. Now this nucleus, if you see, the nucleus size we are talking in Fermis, right? That is into the power n power minus 15, so small. So the density, it will be very densely packed. The density will be very high. Alright, and the density is in the order of, and just quote the value, it is 1.45 into 10 to the power of 17 kg per meter cube. See, if you know the radius, you can get the volume. Okay, so density of a nucleus is so high. You can see 1.45 into 10 to the power of 17. Now this density also, this is nucleus. Now this density also is not uniformly distributed. letter side is 1.5. 1.5, when it moves towards the outer in the radial direction, it drops. So 1.5 will become 1.2, 1.1. At some place it will become 0.75 also. So the extent to which the density d becomes d by 2 is the radius of the nucleus. Like to tell you that this density is also not constant of this nucleus. It is very dense in the core. What is this small gola? This is the core of the nucleus. Here the density will be very high, this much, and this density will be dropping in the radial direction. At some place this density d will become d by 2. So if you draw an imaginary line there, that radius is the radius of the nucleus. Okay. Now let us talk about the masses now. This atom, inside atom we are talking about a nucleus, and the sizes are very less, isn't it? Now how to talk about the masses now? See, we have to go for a special unit now, which is called AMU, atomic mass unit. Atomic mass units, we have to use this AMU. Okay, why? Because the masses of these electron protons are very small. Dealing in always 10 to the power of minus 20, 10 to the power of minus 30 is always very difficult and not very convenient. So we have another type of unit system which is called atomic mass unit. Now you have this carbon isotope C612. Okay, now this atomic mass unit is defined as 1/12 mass, 1/12 mass of one atom of this carbon isotope, of this 1/12 mass of one atom of this carbon isotope. Okay, actually theoretically, if you take the molar mass concept and all that, so if you take this, exactly 12 grams of this isotope will have how many atoms? Avogadro number 6.022 into 10 to the power of 23 atoms. What is this? Avogadro number and Avogadro number. Okay, so exactly 12 grams have these many atoms. Now what have we have defined one AMU as 1/12 mass of one carbon isotope atom. Okay, so here one atom will be how much? It will be 12.00 grams divided by 6.022 into 10 to the power of 23 grams you will get. This is the mass of one atom, right? So if you put it over here, I will write it as 1/12 into 12.00 divided by this, I will write it as N. Alright, so 12 and 12 is cancelled. Now this is exactly 12 grams, which is equal to these many atoms. This much mass corresponds to these many atoms. Okay, so here you are getting 1/n. If you calculate this, you get 1.660565. 1.660565 into 10 to the power of minus 27 in terms of kg. So one atomic mass unit corresponds to this much. Why we are choosing this kind of unit? You know that mass of electron is 9.1 into 10 to the power of minus 31 kg. It is more convenient to write in terms of AMU. Similarly, mass of proton is how much? 1.6 into 1.6726. We will write 1.67 into 10 to the power of minus 27 kg. We also know a relation that MP is equal to approximately 1836 times Ne. Which is more? This is more, no? This is 10 power minus 27. This is 10 power minus 31. Okay. The mass of a proton and the mass of a neutron is almost comparable. So instead of writing like this, we are expressing this in terms of atomic mass unit. I have just noted down these values, you can remember this. Okay, in terms of atomic mass unit, these are the masses of electron, proton, and neutron. Okay, I hope you have got an idea about what is atomic mass unit. All right, let us see one more concept. So here we all know this famous Einstein's equation E is equal to mc square. Now let us discuss some points on this. This is famous Einstein's equation. This is energy, and this is what? This is equivalent mass. Okay, this energy and mass basically are same. Okay, if you take a mass and you destroy it, it is converted into equivalent energy. What is the meaning of that? If I take a stick and I break it, it will convert into, let us the stick weight is 1 gram, I break it, now it will convert into energy. No, the meaning is not that. You have to completely destroy the mass. मास को गायब कर देना है. हथौड़े से मारोगे तो मास टूटेगा. टूटने में और डिस्ट्रॉय करने में बहुत डिफरेंस होता है. You have to completely vanish the mass. You have to destroy the mass. Then this mass converts into equivalent energy given by this expression. अगर मैं एनर्जी को कंडेंस करूंगा, मास डिस्ट्रॉय, you get energy. Destroy means completely vanish, not simply taking a hammer and breaking it. That is not destruction, that is only breaking. If I condense energy, you get mass. मास को डिस्ट्रॉय करूंगा, एनर्जी मिलेगा. एनर्जी को कंडेंस करूंगा, मास मिलेगा. ओके, गिवन बाय दिस एक्सप्रेशन. सो let us see how much one atomic mass unit, if you take, how much energy it has. We are talking about 1 AMU. 1 AMU is equal to 1.66 into 10 to the power of minus 27 kg. It is peanuts. It is nothing. You cannot even call this as peanuts. It is very, very small. 1.66 into 10 to the power of minus 27 means 1 divided by 10 to the power of 27. 10 के बाद इतने सारे जीरो, इतना छोटा मास. Okay, so what is the energy released if you destroy 1 AMU? You can write mc square. What is c? Speed of light. So it is 1.66 into 10 to the power of minus 27 into speed of light is 3 into 10 to the power of 8 square. You will get this in joules, but we want in electron volts. So 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19. Okay, 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19. So there is one more unit which we use, which is 1 million electron volts. What is million? It is 10 to the power of 6 electron volts. Okay, you know that 1 electron volt, I have told you, 1 electron volt is 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19 joules. So if you solve it, you get 931.5 million electron volts of energy is released if you destroy 1 atomic mass unit. 1 atomic mass unit, if it is represented by this small dot made by this pen on this board, if this small dot is totally destroyed, it will give this much amount of energy. So if I want to create this dot, if I condense this much energy, I will get this small dot. Then imagine a person, a person of 70, 80. What are we basically? We are basically energy. Our thoughts are energy. Our feelings are energy. Our aspirations are energy. It may sound funny, but basically we are nothing but energy only. Okay? Alright. So this is what you are supposed to know. Suppose this is E is equal to mc square. So 1 equivalent atomic mass unit is equal to, what did I tell you? So one atomic mass unit will be equal to 931.5 million electron volts E by C square. C square. Okay. This is also, this is from this only. Okay. So this is what is useful while doing some numericals. You can solve it, you will get this value. If you don't get, you tell me. Okay. This whole thing also has to be divided by 10 power 6. Why? Because we want in million electron volts. This part is going to give you in electron volts. But if you want in million electron volts, so divided by 10 power 6. Okay. So these are some of the points. Okay. So one more concept let us see. This is a gravitation force, electrostatic force, nuclear forces. When we talk about nuclear physics, we talk about nuclear forces. Nucleus is very, very small. Nuclear forces act on a very, very small distance. These act on a slightly larger distance. These act on an astronomical distance. Between Sun and Earth, there is a gravitation force. You cannot say that there is a nuclear force, because nuclear force is operating on a very, very small radius, 10 power minus 15 meters. What is this? This is quite huge. So you can see that if gravitation force is 1 Newton, electrostatic force is 10 power 36 times gravitation force, and whereas nuclear force is 10 power 38 times gravitation force. However, it acts on very small distance. Okay, this on small distance. This acts on large distance. Alright, so they are applicable in a very, very small zone of influence only. If I draw a cross here, I draw a cross here, I cannot see there is a nuclear force in between them, because how much this will be? This will be at least half the scale length, 15 centimeters. So their nuclear forces will not come into picture. Okay, so this you can remember. Alright, so while talking about nuclear physics, we talk about nuclear forces. Even electrostatic force also acts on a very small distance, but nuclear force acts on an even much smaller distance compared to the electrostatic force. So with this I will conclude, and we will see some more concepts in the next class. Take care.